Hi, I'm Samantha Scott. May is Sexual Violence Awareness Month, a time to raise awareness about sexual violence, support those impacted by sexual violence, and advocate for change. It is also an opportunity to educate our communities and celebrate our accomplishments. To help us do that, we are thrilled to welcome Chinook Sexual Assault Centre Board Chair Cayley King to our podcast.
Across the prairies, the wind is a constant companion. Drifting down from the mountains, across hills and valleys, forests and plains, the wind is a harbinger of change. It whispers warm breezes across snow-covered winter landscapes and caresses sunny summer evenings. It whips up snow into blizzard frenzies and boils up ominous black clouds of prairie thunderstorms. And if you listen closely, you might hear messages in the wind which speak of hope, change, and renewal. This is Voices in the Wind, a regular broadcast from the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre where we share news about our mission to end sexual violence and child abuse across southwest Alberta.
Hi, I'm Samantha Scott. I am one of the External Communications and Sustainable Fund Development Officers here at the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. I would like to welcome you to this episode of Voices in the Wind, a podcast dedicated to exploring news and information about sexual abuse, sexual violence, and child abuse. This can be a challenging topic to address, but our goal is to approach it with hope and positivity. We aim to highlight the incredible efforts being made to support those affected by abuse, while also providing insights and raising awareness that can inspire real and lasting social change. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that we may touch on subject matter that is uncomfortable or triggering. If you feel like you need help, please reach out to our office at 403-694-1094 or the Alberta One Line for Sexual Violence at 1-866-403-8000. You can also visit our website at csacleth.ca. In this episode, we want to focus on Sexual Violence Awareness Month. This is an important time for our organization, providing us with an opportunity to raise awareness about sexual violence and share information about the work that we do within the community. To help us do this, we are pleased to welcome Cayley King, Chair of our Board of Directors. Cayley is an educator, mother, partner, and committed community member in Lethbridge. Cayley currently serves as the board chair of the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre and principal of an outreach high school in the city. In these roles, her work often intersects through learning, growth, and healing. A strong believer in the power of human connection, Cayley regularly advocates for a grounded, person-centered approach to education and wellness, and practices from an ethic root in deep care. Welcome to Voices in the Wind, Cayley.
Thank you very much, Samantha.
So, you're the chair of the board of directors for the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. Maybe to start, can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in our organization and what inspired you to volunteer as a board member and make this your charity of choice?
To begin with, I began with the Sexual Assault Centre in 2018 before we had a building and when it was still just an organization working to find its roots. And I was approached by a colleague because I was working at the time as the coordinator of counselling for Lethbridge School Division. And that individual thought that I might want the opportunity to take part in an organization where real change could happen in our community. And also the issue is near and dear to my heart. And that is how I first got involved.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And of course, now is a great time to talk to you because May is Sexual Violence Awareness Month. So can you speak a bit about the importance of this awareness building opportunity?
Absolutely. I believe that this month gives us an opportunity to bring about conversation, to talk to individuals within our community about the services that are available for individuals who have been impacted by sexual assault. I believe that when we're intentional in something like an awareness month, it allows us to highlight not only the resources that we have available, but also the need for the resources in our community. I believe that any opportunity that we have to have conversation about the impact of sexual violence creates moments where individuals may be able to come forward and find the trust that they may have been looking for in being able to speak about the experiences that they've had in their lives. I also believe that it's an important time for us to take that awareness and move it towards education and prevention in looking at a time when we could be approaching a community or Southern Alberta without sexual violence and what might be needed for us to get there. It could be also a time for us to take a look at where we choose to spend our local dollars and which organizations we choose to give to. And of course, I believe that this one is of the utmost importance.
Thank you so much for that answer. And what do you feel is the most important message that you'd like to share with people during Sexual Violence Awareness Month?
I believe that one of the most important messages that we can share is that you are not alone. There are services available within the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre to respond to crisis supports, to help walk people through each of their experiences as they may or may not choose to navigate a justice system or may choose to move forward with counseling. I believe that one of the most important messages is that you don't have to stay in isolation. There are individuals who have tremendous expertise in being able to support us through these times, and we don't have to go it alone.
For sure, that is definitely such an important message for the community to hear. And we know that sexual violence is a widespread problem in our society. Can you talk about the impact that you feel that our organization is having on the community?
Absolutely. I would like to acknowledge the growth that the organization has experienced over the last 6 years, from beginning in a effort to come together and try and meet the needs of the community, but also trying to partner with the community because we couldn't do it all, to being a standalone organization that really is able to provide such a breadth and depth of services, from crisis support to system navigation to court support when necessary, to counseling. There are so many ways that the organization is growing and supporting individuals in ways that we didn't initially even anticipate. I think that another area of growth that we're seeing and tremendous impact within our community, and one that I can speak to personally, would be the efforts for education and prevention, and looking at how we can change the future for the individuals in our community moving forward.
Thank you so much for that answer, Cayley. Now, along with this awareness, this month is also an opportunity to fundraise for our organization. So can you maybe take a minute and share why you think people might want to support the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre with a donation?
Absolutely. I believe that each of those services that I recently mentioned, from crisis support to system navigation to court support to counseling, each of those services that are so crucial within our community come at a cost. And that cost is not fully funded. And in the absence of full funding for those services, we need to rely on the generosity and the giving of donors. I believe in donating to the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre as well as the Child and Youth Advocacy Centre because I believe that if we are not, as individuals within our community, contributing to the opportunities to provide the services that are needed within our community, we will end up seeing those costs coming in a different way. And I believe that as a center, the services that are provided are absolutely worth every penny that I would be able to contribute, and I would encourage others to as well.
Excellent answer. Now, we want to take a bit of a break in our conversation. While we do that, here is Brett Brown with Chinook Wins, a look ahead at some of the exciting things happening in May.
Hi, I'm Brett Brown, and welcome to Chinook Wins, our monthly summary of news and events at the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. As we have been discussing, May is Sexual Violence Awareness Month, and the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre has a number of events planned during this important time. We invite you to join us at these events and learn more about our organization and issues related to sexual violence. To launch the month on May 1st, the lights at Lethbridge City Hall were turned teal, the color symbolic of prevention of sexual violence. Throughout the month, we encourage you to wear teal to promote awareness of sexual violence. You can also show your support by wearing a teal ribbon or adding a teal ribbon on Facebook, Instagram, or any of your other social media platforms to show your support of sexual assault survivors. Make sure you tag us in your posts. In May, we're also excited to be launching a unique art show at the Yates Theatre Gallery entitled Impact Unveiled Beyond the Silence. We have collected some amazing artwork from local artists which celebrates survival, healing, strength, empowerment, and the emotions tied to these experiences. The display is designed to create a space where individuals impacted by sexual violence can feel seen, heard, and supported. And through this artwork, we hope to encourage important conversations in the community about sexual violence. The display will be open to the public May 5th and will be featured at the Yates Theatre Gallery until September. We also invite you to join us at the Owl Acoustic Lounge on Friday, May 23rd. Local band Chrome Harvest is holding their album launch party and have generously invited us to join them to raise funds to support our organization. We are thrilled to be partnering with Chrome Harvest and the Owl for this exciting event. Watch our social media and the events section of our website for further details in the coming weeks. Another way to support the work we do is by purchasing special limited edition apparel items. Local artist and supporter Cass Mitchell of Cats by Cass has created the original Sexual Violence Awareness Month design you see here, which is available on a number of items including t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, and stickers. 30% of all product sales will be donated to the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. You can find a link to order on our link tree. In addition, we are holding a special Sexual Violence Awareness Month 50/50 raffle. Tickets are just $10 and can be purchased online by visiting our link tree or the events section of our website. All proceeds from the raffle go towards supporting the work done by the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. Draw date for the raffle is June 12th. For a complete listing of what's happening during Sexual Violence Awareness Month, visit our link tree, which you can access from our website at www.csacleth.ca. And finally, we are excited to be participating in Rogers Birdies for Kids, presented by ElfLink. From now till the end of August, donations made to the Chinook Child and Youth Advocacy Centre through Rogers Birdies for Kids platform will be matched up to 50%. This is a great way to extend your generosity and to support the work we do. To participate, you can click on the Donate Here tab on our link tree or visit Rogers Birdies for Kids website and select the Chinook Child and Youth Advocacy Centre when you make your donation. That's the way the wind's blowing this month. We'll see you again soon for Chinook Winds. To take us out, here's the new single from Chrome Harvest. Enjoy.
Lock in the bathroom door to take a deep breath. Get high out of malice. The mirror beckons you, come closer. You wonder which mouse has taught you this to lean in over the vanity and only see a portrait of missing pieces.
Thank you so much, Brett. Welcome back to Voices in the Wind, where we are speaking to our board chair, Cayley King. Before the break, we were talking about Sexual Violence Awareness Month, which is happening in May. In this segment, we want to learn a little bit more about Cayley and about the board of directors. So, as an educator, you have a passion for working with children and youth. So, I wanted to ask you how that passion connects with your work with our organization.
Thank you. I believe that the opportunity to work with youth and to see their lives change is the greatest privilege of my life. My career is an honor, and it is an honor to be able to watch our children and youth grow and develop and become the people that they are meant to be. Now, when they are impacted by things like sexual violence, their development and their potential is greatly stunted. And what I think that I have personally witnessed throughout my career is that it is not what has happened to kids that defines them. It is so much more about the response that they are able to receive that makes the difference in how they are able then to understand that it is not because of them, and it's nothing that they did to deserve what's happened to them, and that what has happened to them doesn't define them. And so when we are able to access supports and resources from the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre and the Child and Youth Advocacy Centre, we see kids whose lives could remain on a trajectory that is defined by what has happened to them, change and begin to grow and thrive. And we see the trust that's been taken from them and stolen from them return to them, start to build back, start to gain power and control over their own lives, and learn about the tremendous potential that they have. And so when we look at the services that are provided through the healing lens, that is an intersection that I see with education. But I also see the opportunity for formal education when we look at the services that are provided from the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre to engage in helping students, helping our children and youth learn about important topics like consent, learn about empathy, learn about how we treat one another through relationship in this society. That's where we see such an intersection between the services that are provided, the education that is provided, which all comes together for prevention for the next generation.
Amazing. And I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre board and what the board's role is within our organization.
Absolutely. The board is currently made up of 6 individuals from the local community. It is a board governance board, and what that means is that we don't get involved in the day-to-day management and the details of the organization. Instead, we really work to try and help support the organization with direction setting, with policy, with ensuring that there's transparency and fairness and accountability in the practices. We work very closely with the leadership team, particularly with the CEO, Christine. And the board's job is to ensure that the organization is meeting its mandate at all times, but also is being supported in moving forward in growth. Something that I see as the role of the board and something that I appreciate about the organization is that I feel that this is an organization of learners as opposed to knowers. And I believe that that also extends to the role of the board. It is our obligation to continue learning about the world of sexual violence and the impacts that it has, as well as the potential responses that can be given and be offered to our community through supports. The board is here to support the staff in the expertise that they have gained, to support the staff in their own continued learning, and to support the staff in the excellent work that they are endeavoring to support individuals in our community. So really the board's role is all about support.
Now, the board is not the only way for people to be involved with our organization. There is also the opportunity to become a member of our association. Can you maybe speak to the value of joining our association?
Absolutely. I think that joining the organization, number one, always will raise awareness for the organization. The more that we get involved, the more that we engage in conversation, the more we make conversation safe to have in our community, and also help people understand what supports are available. But there are so many ways to get involved. An individual could join our fundraising or a fund development committee so that we could one day work on a capital build so that we would have a facility that could house and meet the needs of individuals as they are presenting in our community. I think that there are opportunities always to contribute financially. I think that there are opportunities to become involved in peer support programs. There are opportunities to volunteer for community events. And many hands make light work, but also many hands contribute to healing and to helping individuals in our community to feel seen. And I think that any way that someone chooses to get involved with the organization, it can help help but have the impact of then scaffolding the supports and the connection that's available within our community in southwestern Alberta.
Amazing. That was such an incredible answer. And to wrap up, can you tell me a little bit about the things that the board is working on and some upcoming things within the organization that you are most excited about?
Absolutely. I think that this board is, as mentioned before, constantly working to pursue the growth of the organization. So the growth of not just the services that are provided, but even the space that we need to do the work in. I think that one exciting future endeavor would be having a capital build where we were able to design and actually build a center that could house the supports that people are so desperately needing in our community. I believe that really in our future, there's so much growth on the horizon. I believe that we're excited about the learning that is constantly defining the work of the staff here at the center. I think that some of the areas where we're looking at growing and learning would have to do with our impact within areas like gender-based violence, and working to gain a better understanding and provide supports for older people and their experience with sexual violence. Definitely an endeavor into the area of restorative justice and what that means within the world of sexual violence, as well as how we design and work with faith-based communities in their responses and our responses to sexual violence. This organization is always working towards growth and learning, and those are just a couple of examples of some areas that we're really taking a deeper dive. I also think that the future, as Brett has mentioned, in the month of May alone with Sexual Violence Awareness Month, there are so many different opportunities to get excited about. One would be the art show that's going to be offered at the Yates, where we will see pieces that have come from the hearts and hands of survivors within our community. And just being able to come to the Yates between May and September to experience that art show and to experience the lives of others through a lens that is unique to them, but also a shared experience, will be a very important opportunity. There are so many wonderful things to be excited about the future and the growth in this organization, and I am honored to be a part of it.
Amazing. And that wraps up this episode of Voices in the Wind. Please join us next month for another episode. For more information about the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre, you can visit our website at csacleth.ca or call our office at 403-694-1094. If you need help, you can also call the Alberta One Line for Sexual Violence at 1-866-403-8000. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next month.